Good morning, welcome to a morning outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 15th of May. Seems really strange being saying good morning on a Monday morning to you guys of these bank holidays that we've had. Anyway, dear me, let's have a look at what's going on there today. We'll start off looking at the news events. If I just bring that up to play first, and we'll click on this week. So we get a refresh of what's going on then. So Monday, nothing today really. And then it's all about jobs for the UK tomorrow and inflation for Canada tomorrow. This week really then, we've got a bank holiday on Thursday, and then on Friday we've got not a lot. Canadian retail sales and Fed speaker. So it's a relatively quiet week next week, or this week, he says, being in the week. So let's get cracking onto the charts themselves, starting off looking at the euro dollar of where we're going here. So at the moment we're in this sort of lower highs, lower lows, so it's moved, the euro's moved into this sort of weaker stretch. Sorry, I just need to run through here. I'm just looking at the moment. We saw the breakdown. It occurred quite quickly on Friday. Personally, I didn't get into that one, but it did go quite quickly. I'm really looking for a retrace a little bit further. I'm just putting the alert on there now. Look, so it could be near enough post 8 o'clock. I never like it to go. Morning, Dean. I never like it to go too quickly. Michael, morning. I'd rather it to hang in a little while, post sort of 8:30ish sort of time, ideally. For it to go too quickly, we'll see. But anyway, there is the bear flag sitting there at the moment on the euro dollar. So there's some potential sitting there. Let me just move it. I'm trying to move something out of the way and it's not going to go, so I'll do it that way. That's it. Pound. So pound was coming off here as well. You see it's another flag that it sort of broke. You see the sort of price action that we've gone through here short term. There's the sort of flaggy move eventually going over. Didn't catch the pivot there on Friday, just rolled over. Similar picture here this morning again. So we're sitting there, same sort of patterns, same sort of setups there. It's whether or not they actually roll through today. US dollar yen, well, that's rallying. It's continuing the push to the upside here at this stage. So a lot of continuation. Short term, it didn't even really pull back yet. Now it has run into its R1, could pull back. The probability of the pivot itself being hit is not particularly good once we've run into the R1, and if anything, the next step really is that R2 is around about 75% chance of being hit. However, it needs to break above it. It needs to have enough legs in it, and it looks a bit thin at the moment. Aussie dollar still sitting in a short on this. It's had quite a retrace. There's so many different areas where it keeps on coming back into and then reacting. It's caught a bit of a bounce overnight. We've got the weekly pivot coming up there at around about 67. It's already into its R1. It's gone through the pivot, the R1 possibility to drive up a little bit. There's all this pivotal area I've drawn on here as well. So the pivotal area, it was a pivotal area that I put on myself. I need to recolor these so I know that it's not a quarterly pivot or something like that. It could be. Need to check that. But in fact, let's just check it now. So, oops, wrong one. This way. It's below, isn't it? That's okay. Or is it? No, it's above. That is the quarterly pivot. It is the quarterly pivot, actually, that one. So it has been dancing around its quarterly pivot there. Quarterly, you're trying to work out which one it is. No, it's not. It's the pivot I've drawn on there. It's right the way through here. Silly. Sorry. It's such a key area. It seemed I've left it on here. So again, looking at potential breakdown and continuation through today. Okay, that's the Aussie. What I haven't done here is just change the pivots. I've changed the Oh, there are daily pivots, that's alright. It's just they're showing, that's fine. Right, moving on. That's the Aussie dollar, sorry, US dollar CAD. So retracing back at the moment, lots of resistance points here. Pivots, that was the quarterly pivot it ran into again on Friday. Seeing a bit more of a retrace, so the commodity currency is just catching a bit more of a retrace at the moment than the European currencies. These are a bit more follow through. We'll see what develops here. It's run into its 34, finding a bit of support there. Friday it was eventually went at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, eventually started moving. We're sort of certainly seeing more movement with the US session, probably driven by the US debt ceiling and the comments that are coming through on that than anything else, or the lack of progress on it that we see in the dollar strength coming. And there we go, saw it there on Friday as well. Not really too much I want to be doing with the CAD at the moment. There's better setups to be had. New Zealand dollars in this sort of flaggy pattern as well on the short term time frames here, lower highs, lower lows running through there. Overall it's running in this bigger channel as well. It's got its own little channel, same as the Aussie really in that respect. I could see a rollover this morning. So there's a few setups out there that could come to something. The Euro Yen was a bit of a disappointment. I did actually short this on Friday and closed not far off scratch in the end. It just wasn't going. Just wasn't going at all, and it started pulling back there. It putting in alternative signals in there, and it was just, it's not worth holding a trade in. It's just as well, because it would have gone in there and stopped me out in the early hours this morning. So scratch trade, it's sometimes you look at a weekend, if it's not moving in your direction, it's just more risk over the weekend, and you're better off coming out. If it's not going, the momentum's come out of the move. Basically it's a momentum trade. You look at what was happening, lower highs, nice flaggy sort of pattern there. Got in reasonably aggressively, but if the momentum's gone, it's gone, and certainly had gone there for the yen. The yen just softened up. So other pairs, I'm just looking, let's have a look at the usual suspects, Euro Aussie and Euro CAD. Euro's come off against both of those this morning, but just looking at them very quickly and cannot see an entry into either of those. I'd rather be trading over the euro or the pound this morning. They're just better price action. So there we go. There's some Forex picture. Morning in. Okay, side of that then, let's have a look at gold. So gold this morning, really it's continued. You're just seeing this little, as I say, some dollar weakness for a little while anyway. Wouldn't get caught too much in that, because we've just seen it reversing, but we'll see. It's just a mess across the board here. So for me, best left alone. Oil's riding its way back south again. Talked about this on Friday, and well, it's moved off a little bit this morning. It's quite quiet at the moment. Already hit the S1 there. Break that S1 gives me the S2. Probably not the best risk reward where it's sitting at the moment, but it's just looking very weak there. Looking at the equity markets, CSI 300. Let's just come back to the dailies for these. Okay, a bit of a turnaround there. We have taken the lows out there, and I'm still sort of with the now confirmed second lower high coming in. Still looking to see if we get further downside on that. It looks weaker rather than stronger. The Nikkei, it's the darling at the moment, and it's continuing to shove up there. It's pushed in another gap there, but continuing to push up there. And the Nifty 50 also following suit. Both strong markets at the moment. Looking good on the upside. As I said, I've done this before and looked at this. It's got a way to go yet, potentially, that Nifty 50. Looking at S&Ps, S&Ps remain in this horrible choppy zone, and that's largely built on the debt situation. Nobody likes the doubt and that's going around, sitting around that, looking soft across the board here. Nasdaq, if anything, looks a bit better than anything else. Morning, Dean. Okay, the DAX this morning looking a little bit brighter. It's sort of looking to break the downward trend that was sitting there across the top of the 4-hourly chart. You can see it's put a higher low in here, but I don't know. Again, the equity markets in general, aside of the Asian markets, these just seem a little bit stalled. Now they are around the highs here, and we are sitting around the highs here, and it's not really pulled away from the highs too much. So there is the potential at some point these will break to the upside and possibly go a bit further, but it's a struggle out there. The FTSE following a similar sort of pattern here, struggling a little bit, really not going particularly well. It's starting to look like it wants to break from these sort of lower high sort of situation. It's given us a higher low, so there's a structural change in the market there, and maybe we'll see some further upside there on that point. Right, let's just have a look at the cryptos as it's a Monday, and start off looking at Bitcoin. Big picture, well, bit of a stagnated weekend, as I often see these days. Has got a bit of a move off this morning, and again the dollar weakness is probably reflected within this. It's just benefiting from that slightly softer dollar that we're seeing at the moment. So it's Bitcoin, Ethereum. Just come down up the time frames here. Really, the Ethereum looking pretty similar-ish, just benefiting again this morning. Chainlink, just have a look at that, similar picture, very consolidated in phases though. Ripple, same again, similar picture right the way through, just different prices, very similar patterns that we're seeing. So Bitcoin may be slightly ahead at the moment. Okay, that's pretty much it for me this morning. I wish you a great day's trading. There, as I say, there are a few flags out there, the pound, the dollar, etc. Might be worth exploring as the morning proceeds. Take care, trade safely, catch you later. Bye for now.